death by stoning of an Iranian woman here in this city, Ottawa, Vancouver, and in cities around the world. I'll tell you more coming up.
Ruling to execute her by stoning grabbed international headlines. Now, one of the protests today is right in downtown Toronto, and Andrew Nichols is in the middle of it all. So, Andrew, tell us more about today's demonstrations. That they're obviously getting more and more crowded there.
Yeah, there are more and more people here today protesting the stoning death, as you mentioned, of Sakine24july. And I'm actually going to introduce you to one of the people who is here. Her name is Samia, and she has created a display just to kind of help people visualize what could happen to this woman if, in fact, she is killed by stoning. And so, Samia, tell me a little bit about your display. Let's crouch down here and tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here.
Okay, what I made is you can see it in Iran, happens every day. It's a real life of people. They put women half in the ground, and this is a real size of the stone. In Islam, the stone shouldn't be too small or too big. This is the right side of the stone that you threw it to the head of this poor woman as a victim of Islam. It's a victim of political Islam and the government, the barbaric government in my country.
And so so she is buried, half her body is buried, that's right? And then they use stones about that size and they aim it at the head until she is dead?
Yeah, they have to not to put too hard pressure on it. They have to kill the victim gradually, not too fast, not too slow. This is a political Islam law, and I wanted to give the real feeling what's going on in my country. I hope I do that.
Thank you very much, Samia. And Neil, I'm just going to walk over here and speak to a former political prisoner in Iran. Her name is Farouk. She doesn't want to talk about that, though, today. She wants to talk about the plight of this woman. So how does it make you feel? Why are you here today that this woman could be stoned?
Yes, we are from International Committee Against Stoning and Execution. We are here to oppose the barbaric Islamic laws carried by the Islamic regime of Iran for 3 decades. 3 decades of genocide, 3 decades of hundreds of thousands execution of political activists.
How hopeful are you that the kind of pressure that you're trying to put will stop Iran from executing this woman?
Yeah. Fortunately, the Islamic regime of Iran is scandalized all over the world for their barbaric action for 3 decades. And today we know that there is the international campaign. 58 organizations, human rights organization and freedom-loving individuals got together. And today, July 24th, is international campaign to release Sakina, to release all political prisoners in Iran. And in our work for whatever international campaign we raise, we had a successful stories that they were released because of the international pressure and the Islamic regime of Iran.
Thank you very much. So Neil, there you get a little bit of a sense of why people are here, and the fate of this woman still unknown. We know that the Iran Supreme Court has postponed a decision, but she still does face execution. Yeah?
Thank you, Andrew. That's Andrew Nichols, live in downtown Toronto for us. Well, the
international pressure doesn't continue against the Iranian judiciary, that this woman could still face execution, even though the judiciary has said, well, we are not going to stone her. You know, whether or not that happens or not, they don't put any faith in what the judiciary there says. So they are there protesting here in Toronto, protesting in cities around the world, hoping that this pressure will stop this stoning or execution by other means from happening, Neil.
So protests on the streets, but pretty powerful protests on paper as well, Andrew.
Oh, yeah. On paper, online. Tens of thousands of people have protested online. Heather Reisman, who runs Indigo Books, which, of course, is a major bookstore chain here in Canada, started one of the major petitions. It was signed by a number of well-known people. Michael Bloomberg, for instance, the mayor of New York City, as well as Hugh Jackman, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Annie Lennox. So lots of people. This particular case has attracted a lot of international attention, and a lot of folks who are involved in all of this hope that international attention and that international pressure will help this woman and get released from prison and certainly stop her from being executed.
Andrew, thanks so much.
Okay.